Hi everybody, it's Galactic Man Larry here again with another Star Wars The Vintage Collection action figure review, and today we have in front of us from Star Wars The Clone Wars pre-Viszla, and there you can see the artwork of the card back. It's a still from the series, The Clone Wars, from the animated series. There you can see the figure in the bubble, looking cool, Kenner logo, warning, choking hazard, 4+ years. There you have the old style vintage collection card back, which I really like having back. I would like to have some figures here instead of all this legal stuff and warnings, but I guess they are forced to do that. Anyway, would be nice to have at least this a bit smaller and at least 4 figures to choose from. There you have the little bio. There you have the thing, pause it if you want. And yeah, let's take this guy out of the card and see how good he actually is. And there you have the pre-Viszla action figure out of the packaging, and I have to tell you right out of the bat, this is a great vintage collection release. This guy is packed with accessories for a carded figure. He doesn't include the flame effects. Let's just take them out of the way, but now you know already that the jetpack is... First of all, it's a new sculpt for this guy, if I'm right. Correct me if I'm wrong. He comes with a dark saber. This is a character who actually introduced it at least in the media. I don't know, in the books and all of that. I have never read the extended material, but there you have a nice print for the effect. It's cast in black. I don't know if it's cast in black or in white. I guess I'm gonna say it's cast in black. It looks very glossy, the hilt. The white is painted, and of course the effect here is an additional layer of black paint. Looks good. It's a great accessory to have. The backpack, there you can see, it's actually molded in different pieces put together. You can see the peg here goes into the plastic. Anyway, it's like the two different parts click together somehow. The thrusters here don't spin, don't swivel. So I tried that gently, and I was like, no, I think they're just one piece, or maybe I have to hit it before I move anything. The rocket is also a separate piece, but it seems to be fixed there. I wasn't able to pull it apart. I tried, but I was forcing things, and I was like, no. So maybe I'll put this into hot water and check later, but not for the review this time. Sorry, guys. Anyway, there you can see it has some paint there for the panels, the controls or the indicators there, like black paint and red for the lights. A little bit of silver here for the tip of the rocket. And everything else, if I'm right, is cast in gunmetal gray and darker gunmetal gray. The figure itself, this is an example of... a figure that can have a removable helmet that looks properly scaled. It has really cool paint on it. You can see the insignia here of the... What was it? It's not the Night Owls, those are Bo-Katans, the Night Watch, I guess. Or whatever, or the Viszla clan, or I don't know which this one in the chest means. If you know, please leave it down in the comment section below, because I don't know all the lore, I just like it, There you have some paint there in the gauntlet here. Some metallic paint on the shoulder pads and the hand guards. The upper body, I think, is the Boba Fett upper body, the Return of the Jedi, or at least a version of it. But yeah, nicely painted. The shoulder pads are the same as with that Boba Fett. They're glued with the piece here of armor below the neck and all of that. The arms we'll check that in a moment. He has nice articulation here. More paint and pouches for the crotch piece, which is a floaty piece. The crotch armor and the belt is a floaty piece, so that's nice to have. You have the extra pieces here for the holster armor bits here, where you can actually put your weapons. The typical Mandalorian pistols, which I don't know the name. Please leave it in the comment section below. The helmet is removable, a bit tight, but hey, it's good. And there you can see what a face sculpt and paint job. This guy looks mean, and yeah, he's seen some battle. He's, of course, it's easy to do a removable helmet for this guy because he's just fully shaped or bald or both, you know. He has a scar there in the face, and you see the paint is really nice, and he has some stubble, you know, the 3-day beard or whatever. Some battle damage. I mean, that Beskar has seen some action and has saved him the lineage, you know. There you have some battle armor in the knee pads and the shin guards and the feet. I guess this is reusing parts from some figures I haven't. The other, you know, Mandalorian figures from the vintage collection that were released the past years, I didn't open the ones from the Clone Wars. I just opened the ones from the Mandalorian. So this is surely reusing bits from those figures, but I don't know. In any case, this guy, yeah, is one of the, in my opinion, one of the coolest Mandalorian armored characters or people, you know, released in the past years. I mean, his helmet is unique to him, and again, removable, has nice paint. The ear pieces, they don't turn because they're kind of keyed there. They're separate plastic pieces, but they're, if you can see in the lower one, they're slightly keyed in position. So I tried to move them, but no. And they're so tiny, I don't want to snap anything. Even if the plastic is flexible, which is good, because otherwise these things would stress right away or snap very easily. And yeah, that's it for the rest of it, you know. Now, the head is on a double ball peg, but it's a bit tight there, and it's sitting low. I mean, it's sitting high, but it's, you know, it's placed there so that it doesn't allow it to move much for backwards or forward, just a little bit, and a little bit of tilt to the sides. Again, we saw the face, so you can just slide the helmet, push it all down, and it looks right. I mean, a helmet should be larger than the head, and it should look like it's a helmeted head, not like a robot, and that's the actual face of the robot, you know, because it's an armored human. And there you can see the helmet itself allows it to have more of the famous expression, and with the helmet you can fake some up and down, but the head is just not moving there. Then you put the backpack into position. There you have these mini tiny little blasters. They have no paint on them, if I'm right, but there you can see the detail, and if I turn it around, there you can see the rest of the detail, and it's the same for both sides. I want to guess the same sculpt and everything. Anyway, you see more of my finger than of the actual thing. Articulation wise, let's check it before giving him more gear. Again, we check the head. The arms can go all the way around, but they're hindered by the shoulder pieces, which are flexible, but you don't want to force them because you will stress them. You will if you force them. The elbows are single jointed, but they bend slightly over 90 degrees, but it's good for a single jointed elbow. I mean, would prefer to have a double jointed, but maybe in this scale it's a bit delicate. The hands have vertical swivels. One has a trigger finger, and the other one is suggesting that you give him the sword, but actually he has two guns. So if you want, you can, with a blade, separate that finger and have two, you know, two trigger fingers. He has a diaphragm. Yet here, I mean, diaphragm cut. He can turn around. I wouldn't go all the way because you feel the oval shape gets in the way, but it has the movement there, which is good. He can bend backwards that far and forwards that far, so he has some decent amount of range in that one point of articulation. The hips, I mean, he does have armor and all of that, so he's a bit limited, but hey, it's quite a lot for an armored character, and for the scalies, I mean, it could have the full splits, you know, but I think this is more than you will need for this guy. I mean, he's just a regular guy, you know. You can lift the legs. I mean, he can kick forward only that far because of the shape of the armor here in the front, the crotch armor. I mean, he could lift all the way, but the piece there gets in the way. That's what I mean. He can kick backwards a little bit, yeah. He has a thigh cut. It's just a thigh cut. horizontal swiveling, you know. You have the knees that bend slightly over 90 degrees backwards. Forwards they just come into position, and you have nothing at the boot, of course, but you have ankle rocker, which is really good for the scale. Can bend backwards that far and forwards that far. I mean, that's all you will need for this guy, I guess. And now for size comparisons, there you have the Vintage Collection pre-Viszla next to Bo-Katan, Grand Mache Viszla, the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, just a Night Watch guy, you know, nameless character, Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, and the Book of Boba Fett. And yeah, I love how these all look together, even if I insist, I think Bo-Katan and, of course, Koska Reeves seem to be quite underscaled together next to all of these other figures. I mean, she should be kind of like Shea Viszla, kind of, right? I mean, Bo-Katan looks just, yeah, like a quarter scale smaller or something like that. And there you have him next to Clone Commander Fordo, next to the Clone Wars Season 7 Ahsoka Tano, Obi-Wan from the Obi-Wan series, but I just wanted to bring him here because they had some chat. Darth Maul, his best friend, Darth Revan, and Darth Vader from, actually this is a Return of the Jedi one, which I actually didn't review here. But in any case, this pre-Viszla Vintage Collection figure, of course, I think everybody can agree that it destroyed the Black Series version they announced the same day or in those days, you know. This one is much better. It's updated body. The other one is using a super old Jango Fett body, whatever. This one is good. That's what we're here for. I'll get the other one only if it gets clearance or heavily discounted, you know. Anyway, this guy, I can only recommend it. I was much more looking forward for Revan, but this one is really a great figure, full of cool accessories and a nice removable helmet, a well done one, and whatever. I mean, just decide for yourself. But even if it's a character which I mean, he's important, but he wasn't, you know, he was a bit short-lived. It's a great figure. So please leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of that good stuff. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao, ciao.